following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Tampa Bay Total Wellness.
Foggy brain, anxiety, depression. You may even feel like you're losing your mind with the onset of menopause, but you don't have to suffer. Joining me now is age management specialist Tammy Oberbreckling with Tampa Bay Total Wellness. It's so good to see you.
You too, Gail. Thank you.
Talk to me about what goes on with our hormones, especially as we start to enter the perimenopausal and menopausal stages of life, which can start very early.
Most of us just think we're losing our mind. It starts with anxiety that's out of nowhere, depression, we don't recognize ourselves, we'll go to the doctor and they want to give us an anti-anxiety medicine, but really it's a depletion in your hormones.
And it's so important to bring these hormones back in balance for a woman's health.
It is, and it's not just menopause. We have many hormones and they begin depleting in our 20s and 30s, and sometimes, not recognizing that, we go down a path of suffering.
So what do you do with your patients when you meet with them to help figure out the best treatment protocol?
First of all, we listen to them. Try to figure out what's missing. Sometimes it's hard to talk about these things. Then we'll do complete blood work and look for deficiencies.
Now, I would say, having gone through this myself with you, and you do work with each patient individually and craft something that they feel comfortable with, which I think is very important. But it's unbelievable to me on a personal level, the transformation that you go through when you get these hormones in balance.
Exactly, and it's rewarding for us too. I mean, we'll have women who can hardly come into the office, their anxiety is so great, and then once their hormones are balanced, they're freely coming in, they're smiling, they're happy, their life's back and completely restored.
And it really helps you to, on a medical level, I mean, there's so many studies to prove that having your hormones balanced is way better than the alternative of just letting them deplete.
Because our hormones are messengers in the body, so we need them. So all the body systems work better when the hormones are working. And the idea that we just live without them, the whole body will start to kind of unwind and misfire.
And I know that you work with men and women alike, and I've heard firsthand the stories of how people's sex lives go, they're like, it goes through the roof because they've gotten their hormones balanced.
And the grumpiness goes away. Men suffer from hormonal depletion as well as women. We jokingly call it menopause, but once everything's in balance, your whole relationship is restored.
Yeah, and so all someone has to do is come in, meet with you, you do some blood work, and then from there you can determine what they need.
Yes, so we'll go through each one of the labs, describe what they do, and the people will start to heal themselves in that. They'll be like, oh, she's describing me, or he, and then we will make those corrections. Takes the body sometimes maybe up to even 6 months to fully correct, but once we get them there, they just live out the rest of their life feeling great.
Now, if it's not for perimenopausal symptoms or menopause symptoms, you said it could even start the imbalances early. What kind of situations do you address with younger women and men?
So both men and women need testosterone. Testosterone is what keeps our body young, keeps it healing itself, recovery. It's both of our libidos. And that'll start depleting in the 20s and 30s. And that's usually what people will assume is perimenopause, is really just that testosterone depletion.
So you might start with something like testosterone, then progesterone, estrogen as needed, but that's the whole thing about you tailoring it to each individual's need.
And looking at thyroid, vitamin D is a hormone, insulin's a hormone, so there are many hormones that could be out of balance leading to your symptoms.
All right, Tammy, it's such a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
If you're suffering and you don't feel like yourself, call Tampa Bay Total Wellness now to check your hormones at 813-609-4150 or 1-888-8-AGE-WELL. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Tampa Bay Total Wellness.